It's time once again for the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. Thanks for joining us. In the next half hour, a look at what's new in Maple Grove and a look back at the most recent council meetings. Stay with us. Maple Grove City Report right now. And thanks again for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report, joined by Al Madsen, City Administrator, studying those final notes for the program here. Welcome, Al. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dave. Good to be here.
As we tape this in mid-April, yes, we know there's still some snow outside and probably more to come, but we are going to talk a few things about spring and parks and some of those good things you want to hear. First one about spring is the farmers market is soon to come back, and there's a sneak peek, which is inside. Tell us a little bit about that.
You're right, it is inside. May 9th, Thursday, from 3 to 7 p.m., we'll have a sneak preview of our farmers market. It's inside the community center, so with Minnesota weather lately, we wondered, but it'll be inside the community center, and it'll be an opportunity for people to see, you know, a lot of the vendors that are going to be in the community center will be outside when the weather starts showing up. And so it'll be a good opportunity, I think, for people just to get inside the community center and see what's happening. And this is the 10th year of the farmers market, and it's a huge success. It's a huge success. We have a lot of cities that will call Carol Morris, who handles the farmers market, and Kirsten, and ask, you know, for how do you guys do it, and information, can you help us get started, things like that. So a lot of communities in the last 10 years have really picked up on farmers markets.
You bet.
So it's a great event. So we hope people will show up to the community center on May 9th.
Not to make Carol nervous though, but when does it, or when is it supposed to start outside if the snow's
Well, you know, that's a good question, and I forgot to double check. It's June.
I think that sounds right to me.
But you know, I cannot remember the exact date. It's like the first week in June or something like that.
All right. I bet it's on the city's website. Yes, if you go to the indoor preview, you can find out that information. But it will get here soon. Yep. Parks we mentioned. You've got Fish Lake Regional Park that's within the city of Maple Grove, and there's going to be some work done there.
Extensive work. In fact, the Fish Lake Regional Park will be closed from July 15th to September 15th. They're going to be tearing up the entire parking lot. They're going to be redoing the entire boat launching area. They're going to extend the boat ramp out further because they want to get into deeper water. They're also going to be doing some dredging. They've got a permit from DNR to do some dredging again to help the boaters, you know, have some deeper water when they launch their boat. So they'll be ripping up everything there. The entrance to it, the entire parking lot there. They're also going to build I don't know exactly the size of it, but there'll be some restroom facilities that they're going to build with storage area. So from July 15 to September 15, it will be totally closed off. So.
How about some of the trails around it? Do you know if they'll still be accessible if people want to walk around the lake?
Yes, some of the trails will still be accessible. They are going to be doing a little bit of work to some of the trails. But the real emphasis of the construction work is within the parking lot and the boat ramp and that particular area. So, but anyway, it will be shut down for you know, quite a period of time. But when it's complete, parking lot will be new and expanded, and boat ramp, I think, because I know that Three Rivers has received a number of complaints from those with boats that really are having a tough time launching their boat because it's such shallow water.
Sure.
And the boat ramp is not out far enough.
Right.
So they're going to address that.
And I'm sure if they had their choice and were able to, they would do this in the dead of winter, but that just doesn't work when you're, digging the bottom of the lake up and doing some of those kind of things. So unfortunately, we'll miss a little bit. If you want more information, I'm sure you can go to the Three Rivers Park District website, and they'll be able to tell you what's open and what is not open.
Absolutely.
Other news in town?
Well, I want to thank our senior volunteers. A couple of days ago, I spent time with about 80 of our senior volunteers, giving them an update on what's happening in Maple Grove and fielding a lot of questions. And I am just so impressed with our senior program. And Chris and Brenda do a fabulous job with it. And just the seniors themselves, you know, they're energetic, they want information. They love their city, and they just absolutely are devoted to what they're doing. And so I thank our senior volunteers. It was a nice time, you know, giving them a presentation and then fielding a number of different questions. There were a lot of questions.
What were the top couple questions? What were the seniors wanting to know?
Well, what's new coming to town?
Okay,
for
sure.
one
Where's
thing.
the restaurants?
Right,
Where's some of the businesses?
Some of the businesses, right, had to do with that. They did have some questions about road construction, but that's not as big of an issue as it was years ago for us. You know, Bass Lake Road is done. Weaver Lake Road will be, the final lift on that will take place this summer.
Right.
But they had some really, I thought, really good, thought-provoking questions, and then also questions about, you know, city council and how often do they meet, and Maple Grove days, and just, you know, it's a wide range of things. And so I fielded lots of questions.
So you're on the schedule for next year. You made a good impression, and they're inviting you back?
Well, that I don't know.
We'll have to see.
They are talking about having a bus tour for the seniors this fall.
Very nice.
And rumor is they'll invite me to the bus tour. So
see, there you go. You're set.
I've done that in the past, and that's fun. It's just a lot of fun to get the seniors on a bus. They're great sense of humor.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful sense of humor. So let's see, what else do we have? Tree inventory. Go to our website. We hope to do a tree inventory of the city. These are not trees that are on private owned, you know, people's privately owned property, but these are the boulevard right-of-way trees. We're trying to get an inventory as to the number of trees and the type of trees, because our fear is that at some point in time, the emerald ash borer will be in our city.
Right.
It's been in other cities. So we want to get a jump on it and know what type of trees we do have. So if anybody wants to volunteer to participate in the tree inventory, we're more than happy. You do not have to live in the city of Maple Grove if you want to participate.
Okay.
And there's training.
Good, so I don't have to be a tree expert coming into this?
No, you do not, no. And so it's good opportunity, I think, for us to get a handle on what we do have. There was a comment that we have maybe 9,000 or 10,000 trees in our boulevards. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's time, because, well, not just because of the emerald ash borer, but just it's time to get a good inventory of how many trees we do have and the species.
Right.
Very, very good thing to do.
Okay.
So anyway, you can go to our website for that information.
And when does that happen? Is that something that happens all throughout spring and summer, or is there a definite period of time?
Assuming spring comes and summer comes and fall comes, I don't know. There was a short spring, summer, and fall, but no, it'll start this spring, later this spring, and then it'll continue on until we finish, you know, the entire city.
Very good.
It probably will take us until the fall. Yeah, it's because it's a big, daunting project. But again, you do not have to be a resident of the city. If
Very
you just want to go out and start inventory some trees and having a good time. So our law enforcement training facility is now open to the public for public shooting. Go to our website and you can find out, you know, the requirements for that. There's certain days and certain times, but our law enforcement training facility is you know, burned down some time back. It's been rebuilt. We now are in partnership with Plymouth Police Department, also several other law enforcement agencies that are using our facility, but it is open to the public at certain times and certain requirements. So.
And this is a common practice, I would guess, with other cities that have facilities like this, to have the public come in, and it might help a little bit on the bottom line?
It is. Oh yeah, it does help on the bottom line, and I think that, and I don't know if it passed the last legislative session, but there was a proposal there to require all city-owned training facilities to be open to the public at certain times. Yeah, I don't know if that made it through the session or not last year, but even before that, even before ours burned down, we had public shooting in there. But there are certain requirements that have to be followed. So, but it's a good opportunity. We have, let's see, a few other items here. We have the application in for Springbrook, which is in the 68th area. That's for 14 units of single-family residential. Ave Maria Academy just submitted an application for an academy, a private academy, on the south side of Bass Lake Road and Jewel Avenue area. That's in the area of, I'm trying to think of the name of the church that's in that area. Escapes me for the moment, but it's a academy or a private school that's been in a church.
Cedar Crest, I think, is
There
where
you
they've
go.
been.
There you go. And they are going to now build their own, and that'll be 35,000 square feet. So
Okay.
it's nice to have
Good
that.
size school,
Yep,
sure.
it sure is. FedEx, we expect that they will be submitting a building permit to us sometime in the next week or two. That's a very, very large project. That's almost 300,000 square feet on the south side of Weaver Lake Road, and so that will be a very nice project. It's a facility that's located in Brooklyn Park that's going to be shifting their operations to Maple Grove. So a number of those employees will be transferred over to Maple Grove, but there still will be new jobs that will be generated from this. So that will be a big, big project for us.
Al, is this the start of a little bit of commercial going into more and more of the gravel mining area, and maybe a picture of what is to come in that part of that area?
We hope it is. We're starting to see a turnaround in the economy, slow, but turnaround. And so we're hoping a little, like the FedEx project and some of these other projects are starting to, give us a hint that things are turning around and things are looking a little better. So the gravel mining area is a difficult area to try to get developed. Pulte and with their Donegal project is doing a residential project in there, and some people might scratch their heads and wonder, well, you got all these big mounds of sand and gravel sitting around, and you're going to buy a house there. But it's an area that we certainly are putting a lot of faith in for the future of the city, and I think it's going to pay off. It's a huge area, but we're working with the legislature on some special legislation to help us with development of that gravel mining area. It doesn't benefit the landowners; it benefits the city by helping offset assessments, sewer, water, storm sewer, things like that.
Right.
So it helps the bottom line of the city. So we're hoping that that will get through the legislature. It's been a little difficult, but we keep working away at it.
As people see that area develop, is the Zachary Hemlock somewhat the dividing line of what will be retail and residential to commercial and industrial, or does that line swing even further to the east?
Well, it swings even further. Some of that area is mixed-use development, which could be residential, could be retail and industrial. In the old days, when you'd use the word industrial, people would think of smokestacks and all this massive outside storage and things like that. But nowadays, industrial buildings are office showroom type of buildings where maybe you've got 70% warehouse and 30% office, or 50-50 or whatever the case may be. So it's the area that FedEx is looking at, I think, will be the start. And then there is some land right along Jefferson Highway on the west side of Jefferson, inside Maple Grove, that is industrial, guided for industrial.
Right.
If you move to the west, and then let's say I'd say you're probably on the west edge of Hemlock. You're going to see commercial there. Okay. And there will be some residential tied in with that area as well. So our overall land use plan for that entire area lays it out pretty well as to what's going to be where, and we tend to follow our land use plan quite carefully because, well, it's a benefit to the residents or the new folks coming in. Right. They know what to expect.
Understand what's going to be next door. Right. As far as the time frame on this, what is the land use plan and the vision for that area? Are we 10, 20, 30 years out?
Well, we're at least 20.
Okay.
For a full build out. There was a time that Maple Grove was thinking we'd be built out in 2020. surprisingly, that's not far away.
Right.
But the build out now is probably 2025, 2030, something like that.
Okay.
The gravel mining area it's a work in progress. You still have mining that's going on,
right.
But then as areas become mined out, or it becomes less efficient to dig the mineral out, then they turn it back into, for purposes of redevelopment. So, but we're looking at least 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So,
well, that's something to talk about for a while.
Well, yeah, you will. Beyond my time. Let me see what else we have here. It was a smooth meeting. We had a couple of items that residential items. We have the Bon Air extension. That is 11 single-family permits. We extended their planned unit development application on that one. So we'll see that one continue forward. One of the things that we are finding is the residential development applications are starting to come in. We're starting to see residential development pick back up. We have about 56 single-family building permits as of now. That's maybe about the same as last year, maybe a little bit less, but then again, the weather has kind of slowed things up.
Right.
And so once Minnesota weather decides to be nice to us, we're going to see really that the residential is going to kick off. And we have a lot of commercial prospects that are looking at us. We got a number of companies that are going to be opening, like Whole Foods, and that'll be opening sometime soon. Aldi's grocery, right. They'll be opening very, very soon. So we also approved the final plat for Bottineau Ridge. That's a John Duffy project, which is at the corner of Hemlock and Arbor Lakes Parkway. That's a two-phase, 100-unit affordable housing. It's a multi-level facility.
Right.
And it'll be right next door by the senior housing, the Arbor Senior, right there. And Sky Arbor Lakes, we've talked about that one.
Yeah.
Seems like forever. They have been in now for a grading permit, and they've submitted some of their plans for a building permit. So we're going to see that one take off as well.
Activity will be.
So you're going to see a lot of activity from the corner of Weaver and Main Street to the east, and then along Hemlock there. You're going to see quite a bit of activity. It's going to start kicking off this year.
Very good.
Yeah.
Back to those housing areas and the houses that are being built. I think we've talked in past shows and even the past year or two that a lot of the houses that are being built now are really fill-ins of developments that have been planned,
really
and there were just some lots that were left that now the economy is improving, they can fill those in. Is that continuing to be the case, and then now are you seeing some brand new developments that will come in with a whole new idea?
All the above.
Okay.
It is, at one point in time, I think Maple Grove had beyond 4,000 lots available. And, the economy went bad, and so things weren't happening real fast. We're now seeing that filled in rapidly. And so now developers are turning their attention now to new sites. They're rapidly filling out a subdivision that maybe they started on 3, 4, 5 years ago.
Right. 6
years ago. Now they're starting to fill that in. And that's with the, the extension of some of these, like Bon Air and
right.
then High Grove 3rd Edition. That's 174 single-family units in there. So developers, they did find these fill-in parcels, took care of those. They had their own, vacant parcels
right.
that they wanted to take care of. Pretty well done now. So now they're starting to search for bigger parcels of land to develop. So that's a good sign.
Yes,
it's a very good sign.
Okay.
So we're happy with that. Arbor Day. Arbor Day will be May 18 of 2013. There will be some events at the community center, so I encourage everybody to go to the community center and also go to our website, and we have all kinds of information on Arbor Day. We did issue a liquor license for a new restaurant, Teresa's Mexican Kitchen, or, excuse me, Teresa's Mexican Restaurant. The old Orient Buffet, which was over by across from Rainbow, right. Where TCF is, that area, they left, and Teresa's Mexican Restaurant is going in there. They applied for a liquor license. They have 4 locations.
The name did sound familiar.
Yeah, I have not been to
others.
one, but our community development planner has been to one, and very happy. But they've got 4 in Minnesota, and they got 1 in Georgia. So they're experienced. They know what to do. And
Very good.
that always gives us a comfort level, rather than maybe somebody coming in, for the first time, maybe have never owned a restaurant,
Right.
and has no idea what the rules and regulations are of liquor license. And so they are thinking about opening in July. So they gave their presentation to the council, and the council reminded them that we take our liquor license very seriously, and we do have mandatory training for all of the individual or the restaurants in town that have liquor license, and so they are hoping to have it open in July.
Okay.
So it'll be a nice addition to that area. So I think that might be the brunt of it. Well, a couple other things before I forget. Ooh, important things. The cleanup day, city cleanup day.
Yes.
Again, information's on our website, but we have curbside pickups. If people want to put things out at the curb, if they're too big, they don't want to bring them over to Public Works.
Right.
April 22nd is curbside pickup, and items need to be out at the curb by 7 a.m. And then we'll have trucks that'll be going around picking the stuff up, taking it to Public Works. Now, if you don't have something that's big and you don't want to set it out on a curb, you just want to deliver it over to Public Works yourself, that would be April 27, and that's from 8 a.m. to noon.
Okay.
So anybody that has something they just want to drop off at Public Works, 8 a.m. to noon, and there'll be some directional signs as to where people have to go to deliver their stuff. So that's it's always a good thing, because it gives the residents a chance to unload some stuff, and including me.
Y'all can do that, right?
That's been sitting in the garage, and you keep telling yourself, well, I got to get rid of it, I got to get rid of it. So now's the opportunity.
And is there a cost associated to some of those items that if you either
It
get them on
depends
your
on
curb
what
or
it
take
is.
them? Okay.
Yeah, it depends on what it is. If it's large items, then there would be a cost, small cost. But again, that info is on our website. But if you're going to bring something over to the Public Works facility in your own vehicle, no, you just come over and you drop it off. So again, it's a nice opportunity to unload some of the stuff that we all seem to accumulate. I don't know where it comes from, but
how about items that you can't bring? Like if I wanted to bring a stack of old Maple Grove report tapes, is that okay? Or what would be no?
Why would you want to get rid of those?
I know, they're in the vault. They're
well,
okay. Are there items that are off the table?
Well, like electronic stuff, like televisions and computers, things like that. Those should be taken over to the Hennepin County Recycling
Right, hazardous
Center.
items, tires, those type of things.
Paint.
This is not that type of an event.
No, it's not. Paint, things
Okay.
like that. But as far as the Maple Grove report tapes, those, I mean, you got to keep those forever.
We could probably sell them, right?
Yeah, right, yeah. Put them out on auction, see what
Right,
you do.
we could try that.
Yeah. Street sweeping. We started it.
Okay, and how did that go?
Yeah, well, it went pretty well.
Doesn't like snow?
No, it went pretty well. We started the street sweeping, and then obviously the snow came, and so we've stopped the street sweeping for obvious reasons. We were going to start. Now they're predicting another 2 to 4 inches, and so street sweeping will be on the back burner for a little while longer. But we have one street sweeper ourselves, and then we contract with a company for their street sweepers.
Okay.
And it's extremely important to get the streets swept up, so you don't have so much of things that are going down into our our storm sewer system. And so, and one thing I want to remind folks is that it doesn't matter if it really is something in the fall. It happens a lot, but the grates, the storm sewer grates, they get clogged.
Sure.
So if any resident sees one clogged, I just ask them to go out and remove the debris from around it, and you can just push it out into the street, because a street sweeper will come along and clean it up. The other thing I want to remind our residents, and I do honestly believe that warmer weather is coming. Eternal optimist, I guess.
Yes.
But with warmer weather coming, people will be out working in their lawns, maybe in the backyard, leaving the garage door open. People will park their cars out overnight. Be sure that your garage door is down when you're in the backyard working. Be sure that your vehicle is locked. Don't let laptops and iPads and things like that sit in your car in a visible spot. Just take every precaution, because we will see that as the weather warms up, then we're going to find theft from vehicles and theft from garages. That also tends to come up. So just encourage everybody to take every precaution. So.
And speaking of people working in their yards, I have heard rumor that the yard waste site is open or opening soon. So I know it's a little dicey out there if you should do anything in your yard or not, but maybe there's some branches and things and people can start to use that facility again?
Absolutely right. Good point. It is open. And so encourage people to use it. It's used, I mean, tremendous. At some point in time, somebody asked me one time just how many maybe how many cubic yards of material has been put at that site since it opened, and I don't know. It's a good question. There may not be an answer to it other than mega.
Many.
Right. And a buddy of mine asked me also the question about how many cubic yards or tons, how many tons of gravel have come out of the gravel mining area. I mean, we're talking millions.
Sure.
Now, whether we could put an exact number on that, I don't know. But the yard waste site, yes, is open, and so I encourage people to use it, because we get these ice storms and branches break off and things like that. So it's there for a purpose, and I think it's serving an extremely valuable purpose for the city. So that's it. Things are moving along smoothly in the city, and hopefully they continue to.
Very good, Al. Thank you very much again for your time. Let's leave you with the website. So if you want information about the yard waste site or many of the other things that we've mentioned today, you see the website at the top of the screen, maplegrovemn.gov. You can find out plenty of what's coming up and also some of the information that we've talked about during the program that you might want to check back on. Monday, May 6th is the next council meeting, 7:30 at the Government Center, 494-6000, the number to the Government Center if you have questions. And if you have questions or comments for the program, 533-1710 is the number here. For Al Madsen, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.